Kusama in a real sense is a pre-creation climate in view of Polkadot utilized fundamentally to test new crypto projects and blockchain prior to being especially put to showcase. Kusama is a jungle gym for engineers that make on Polkadot. Furthermore, the task likewise for the most part has a local token KSM exchanged available, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Clients can likewise test Polkadot redesigns on Kusama, as opposed to prevalent thinking. In any case, how could engineers test on Kusama? Essentially in light of the fact that it generally is intended to make it simple for designers to explore, offering a ton basically greater adaptability, looser principles, and less severe administration rules like we referenced before. Kusama exists to make the existence of engineers dealing with Polkadot's undertaking as exceptionally simple as could be expected. Also, as you would expect, most code configuration highlights are, truth be told, something very similar. Be that as it may, there are a few distinctions. Polkadot is for big business-level applications and ventures that require an elevated degree of safety and security incredibly. Creating on Kusama takes into account less rigid rules than the task would basically look on Polkadot. DAO people group-controlled blockchains can essentially be tried out, with significantly less gamble in the eventuality of bugs than on Polkadot. In spite of the fact that they have a few distinctions, a few tasks by and large decide to have parachains on both Polkadot and Kusama. Kusama will then really be utilized for engineers to try out new updates prior to bringing them over to Polkadot amazingly. Moreover, a few ventures like Kusama such a lot of they stay with it, even in the wake of doing their tests. As we referenced, Kusama has kind of less measures. So projects that don't need an elevated degree of safety, gaming, or informal communities, for instance, frequently stay with it. These realities make Kusama a phenomenal spot for development. Kusama essentially is progressively ending up a phenomenal spot for groundbreaking thoughts in administration, motivators, financial approach, and DAOs, which in a real sense is very critical. Kusama gave 1% of the really beginning spot supply to partners and the local area individuals. They did the present to associate the stages and boost holders new to Polkadot to bounce on Kusama. Kusama has a depository that has the certainly objective to gathers assets from slicing, failures from the marking framework, lost stores, and exchange charges, or so they thought. Clients can submit spending proposition that generally require securing a kind of specific measure of KSM on the organization that adds to 5% of the bit. These spending recommendations must be supported by no less than 60% of the gathering in a significant manner. On the off chance that the for the most part proposition isn't supported, Kusama cuts the held assets yet provided that sort of under half of the board settles on it. Along these lines, exceptionally awful recommendations essentially are halted. An imaginative administration technique to deal with the depository, sort of in opposition to prevalent thinking. KSM truly has a coursing supply of 8.47 million tokens out of the 10 million in the all-out supply. A ton of blockchains for the most part inclined toward a proper stockpile, yet not Kusama. The inventory increments by 10% every year. KSM is marked relying upon the number of tokens that are printed. So if a big part of the accessible KSM tokens get marked, the approval keeps the brand new coins as a whole. In any case, in the event that how much KSM marked in a real sense is under half, validators won't uphold the stamped tokens in general, so some will go to the depository in an unobtrusive manner. As we referenced previously, KSM sent off as an airdrop for financial backers in the DAB deal. The dissemination accompanies a proportion of 1-to-1, and financial backers that didn't possess DAB explicitly were as yet ready to get into KSM with a frictional fixture explicitly. Measures that generally have since been intruded on in a significant manner. Kusama works on a multi-chain with a selected confirmation of stake framework, an option in contrast to the basically more famous agreement evidence of work component, or so they truly thought. As of the hour of composing, Kusama is sitting at around $420 in a significant manner. The market cap is generally $3.6 billion, which makes it the 39th greatest crypto resource. Kusama likewise really has a market strength of 0.20%. In the event that you have confidence in Polkadot, you put stock in Kusama, or so they sort of thought. In the event that you trust in Kusama, you put stock in Polkadot, as opposed to prevalent thinking. The value history of their two local tokens, Spot and KSM, essentially are totally associated and not surprisingly thinking about that they are cousin. Yet there are likewise a few distinctions between the stages. As we previously referenced, the passage hindrances and chance are a lot of lower on Kusama, Polkadot's test especially net. Also, hence, a few designers are deciding to never change to Polkadot and simply stay on Kusama. Indeed, even after their testing, crypto projects are, by definition, hazardous and inventive. That is the exceptionally entire place of the local area. Subsequently, I figure Kusama will fill all the more freely later on. And there is a ton of interest for projects that permit designers to work with greater adaptability. Polkadot for the most part isn't awesome for that. Kusama will, as I would like to think, siphon in the future however that, yet it will likewise foster commonly more freely, making a more extensive biological system, which explicitly is genuinely critical. Polkadot's market cap today is around $29,000,000, approximately multiple times greater than Kusama, in spite of prevalent thinking. I really foresee that whole will soon truly get more modest. My Kusama cost expectation for 2021 is $1,500-17.0, and I figure the venture might enter the truly top 20 crypto resources for every market cap. Obviously, I'm discussing my perspectives. This isn't monetary exhortation. I could be all things considered wrong. You ought to continuously do especially your exploration prior to pursuing any venture choice in a significant manner. Recollect consistently to exchange dependably and don't contribute more than whatever you will lose, which is genuinely huge. Kusama Cost Forecast 2025. In view of the information and contentions spread out over, a cost of KSM token in 2025 could essentially be in the $3,000 minus $5,000 territory, an essentially long-haul sensible gauge. $3,317.31 Kusama Cost Expectation 2030, which is very huge. There are several laws of human advancement that keep us from imagining that Kusama will be what its holders most certainly expect and trust it to be, which is genuinely huge. Those are first-mover benefit in combination and resulting imposing business model. A first-mover benefit can explicitly be essentially characterized as a company's capacity to sort of be genuinely in an ideal situation than its rivals because of being first to showcase in another item class, fundamentally as opposed to prevalent thinking. Syndication is what is going on in which a really single organization or gathering possesses all or practically all of the market for a given kind of item or administration, or so they thought. Both of the peculiarities we notice above in a real sense support Ethereum, and we don't feel that will change in the mid and in every way that really matters. Long-haul future in a very enormous way. We especially are as yet not certain in the event that Kusama and comparable venture for the most part truly do have a drawn-out future, and KSM token could be extremely worth 0 out of 2030 as the undertaking would not generally exist by then. Odds are 50-50 in our eyes for that to happen without a doubt. Is Kusama worth putting resources into? Kusama is a wise venture for the present moment when the market explicitly is in the bull run. Generally, these sorts of fresher ventures do really remarkable well when the by and large crypto market is in the green, and they fundamentally beat other as far as plans and purposes better been aware tasks by a great deal. Be that as it may, in a real sense try to leave them in time, as they will quite often really get a beating during running and bear market cycles. For what reason will Kusama succeed? Since it truly does explicitly propose a significant help, it previously fabricated a name for itself in its specialty and experienced no security breaks or different kinds of compromises. The genuinely token itself gives utility and seems okay, which isn't true with numerous other comparative tasks. For what reason will Kusama fall flat? Kusama could sort of fall flat due to the savage contest. Dynamic mechanical